Hey, welcome back. It's a new day for me, so I'm re-energized and very excited to get back to working on our Japanese study tool. The step that we are going to capture in this video is setting up a new Alexa skill. Now for me, I'm going to copy this from an existing skill that I had created during the bullet train development, and the point of the video is just to capture that process because it wasn't, I don't know if you're familiar with Amazon's developer tools, but they're never particularly, super user-friendly, I feel like. But anyway, so I have this developer console open. I'm going to open it again and create a skill. And then in the process of that, I'm also going to pull up this one. So we'll just call it Japanese study tool. And the default language will be English. And we will do custom. And we will create the skill. All right, so if we come back here, we are going to create an intent, and this is all stuff that I had to figure out, like understand how Alexa applications are intended to be built, and I had to come through it and basically learn all of this stuff in order to implement this type of functionality in bullet train. And sorry, I just got off track there for a second because I realized that every time I was saying Alexa, the device thought that I was talking to it, and I was afraid that it was going to, pipe up or something like that. But I've now hit the mute button, so we're good to go. So anyway, I had to go through and learn how to do all of this stuff in the Amazon developer console in order to get an Alexa sort of integration working in bullet train. But the reality is that for the type of applications that I envisioned building in bullet train, these conversational apps, almost all of the structure of how Alexa skills are developed was basically we just needed to bypass it. And so what this video will end up capturing is the process by which we completely bypass all of the natural language processing that Alexa has by default. And what the end result is, the goal is that whatever the user says just gets passed wholesale to the application in order to allow the application to figure out what the intent was, all of that. So, and how to respond to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly build these out. So I'm going to add a open-ended response. Call it. Apparently we'll call it open-ended response. And then when we look at that, we have to add these sample utterances, and we'll call that open-ended slot. And I'll be honest, I don't even remember what all of this does. Well, I can kind of explain. So the point is that it's using these sample utterances to take what users have said and compare it to, this list of things that we've said, hey, these are things that people are going to say. And then it uses that to try to match and what they've said into some sort of slot. Well, we just want the whole string, and we want the slot to be called the open-ended slot, and we want them to put everything that the user has said into that one slot. So here we go. We'll add another one. Done. All right, that should do it. And then we want the slot type So for this open-ended slot, we want it to be, added that, and it's a Amazon literal. And does it require confirmation? No. There we go. So that should do the trick. I saved the model, and it said invocation name must not be empty, null, or empty, missing invocation name. So I haven't added this yet. All right. Everything looking quite the same. All right, so it's giving me an error. I'm not really sure why. Everything here is exactly the same. Okay, what is going on? Oh, it thinks that this is, let's delete this. No, that's not it. All right, I'm just going to refresh this. What is invocation name? Wow, this is a disaster. Let's work through this together. Okay. All right, open-ended slot, edit dialog. I have no idea what we're doing here. So, all right. This one works. Like, this is a working app. And literally everything here is the same. If we go down here, you can see everything is pixel the same. So what is going on? Let's see what we can do. Save the model. Invocation name must not be null or empty, missing the invocation name. I'm just going to go ahead and refresh, leave the page. Let's try to add a here. Let's do this. I'm going to try something else. Invocation name has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Skill invocation name. Wow. Got it. Okay. So going back, the skill infinite tide pooler. It's auto-correcting to that. Come on. Japanese study tool. I wish we had a cooler name than this, but whatever. We will. Here we go. Done. Save model. Great. Okay, so now we can do this whole step that we did before where we have the open-ended response. So I'm going to add open-ended response, create a custom intent. They are going to say these things that we already know. And then add that, and then we'll do one more. That is some real UI goodness they got going there. And then we'll do open-ended slot, and the open-ended slot is a. We have to add it, and then the open-ended slot is a literal. There we go. Let's save the model. Done. It worked. All right, so now for sure there's going to be some interfaces and stuff that I think we have to. Nope. Endpoint. HTTPS. And I imagine that the URL here is going to have to change because I switched port forwarding services. So for HTTPS, my development endpoint is a subdomain. And then let's switch into my console here. I still have this running. All right, so I just did, just so that you can see what the command is, it's ngrok for HTTP on port 3000, which is where my Rails server is running. And then I have a registered subdomain on my account. So that's what we're doing there. We'll run that. And now we're port forwarding. So this is actually the URL that we want to use, which means goodbye forward HQ, hello ngrok. Okay, there we go. Now, that should be the only thing that we have to do. Let's see if that works. All right, so now this is going to fail at first, but let's see if this connects. Alexa, ask Japanese study tool to talk to me.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, so I'm not sure why. Let's see if we have to do anything. All right, so build, save endpoints. Okay, account linking, anything here? Nope. All right. So in development, analytics. Oh, I think I need to add this. Alexa, add or enable the Japanese study tool.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa, enable the Japanese study tool.
I can't find that skill. To find skills, go to the skills section of the Alexa app.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to figure out what I have to do here in order to get this working, but I actually don't have my phone on my person. So I'm going to go grab my phone and then we'll come back to this.